All right, so let's deal with some quadratic functions, meaning x squared. So the first one, what are the roots of this quadratic function? So first thing here, I'm going to find the greatest common factor and pull that out. So what that gives me is x squared minus 5. And so remember, roots are what make the whole equation 0. In this case here, I got to figure out what makes x squared minus 5 equal to 0, which is going to give me square root both sides, plus or minus root 5. So my exact roots are positive root 5 and negative root 5 for the first one. For the second one, I'm given something a little bit different, and I need to find the roots. Let's see if, at first, I'm going to try factoring this again. No greatest common factor, but let's see if I can diamond and box to factor this. Looks like I can. No, wait, hold on a second. That doesn't work, does it? I made a mistake. I can't because I mean to multiply to the top. And the only things that multiply to positive 7x squared is 7x and x. Dang it. That means I need to use the quadratic formula. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. I simplify 6 plus or minus 36 minus 28 is the square root of 8. 36 minus 28. I simplify again to get plus or minus 2 root 2 because I can simplify the square root of 8. So if you think this is the final answer, you're close, but because all of my whole numbers are divisible by 2, my real final answers here are negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 2 over 1, or I could just leave it like this. So these are my two roots, negative 3 plus root 2 and negative 3 minus root 2. Third one here, please tell me this one's going to be a little bit simpler. It looks like it is. So on this one, the root, oh man, maybe not. It's definitely not. Okay, so this one here, think about it. It's a positive, what do we got here? Positive quadratic, meaning it's going to go up like this. I can't just say it's positive 7 because if I plugged in positive 7, that would make this part here 0, but then I would subtract 6, so that's not a root. So instead what I have to do is I have to set this whole thing equal to 0, and I'm going to solve that. So x minus 7 squared minus 6, add 6, then I'm going to divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I take the square root of both sides. I get x minus 7 equals the square root of 3, plus or minus. I add 7 to both sides, and so my two solutions are 7 plus or minus root 3. So those are my two roots for this one. So first one was nice and easy because I could, greatest common factor and then just solve for what was in the parentheses. The second one, I needed the quadratic formula. The third one, I need to set the whole side equal to 0 because I have this minus 6 here. So my final piece says the graph of the quadratic crosses the x-axis at 8 minus root 11. Write a possible equation for this function. There are a lot of ways to do this. The way I like to do it is I like to just set up this here that I know that because when I get, 8 minus root 11, that means that 8 plus root 11 is also a factor. So really I could just multiply these two things together, and it's a little bit ugly because it's 3 boxes, but this is just kind of my fail-safe way of dealing with this. If I do this correctly, all of my square roots should go away. So this one here, positive root 11, I get x squared minus 8x. Then I get positive root 11x, negative 8x, 64, negative 8 root 11, negative root 11x, positive 8 root 11, and then negative 11 here. So my corner boxes, negative root 11x and positive root 11x cancel. 8 root 11, negative 8 root 11. And then now I just need to combine these ones. So I get x squared minus 16x and then 64 minus 11 is 53. So my expression here, my quadratic, that would give me those roots. One of them would be x squared minus 16x plus 53.